So here it goes. I've looked online for a little while and I can't seem to find anything to tell you how to change a battery or find a battery or put an Optimate charging cable accessory on the battery of your Aprilia rsv4 as I've got here. So we'll just do a quick video, real quick video of how to get to it, and you know, then you can work out for yourself what you want to do, change your battery, put accessories on there, what have you, but at least you'll know where your battery is and you know how to get to it quickly and most importantly without damaging anything. So first things first, you will need to get your back seat off. So key in there, unlock your seat cowl, rear seat cowl, that's off, key somewhere safe. Right, so now your seat cowl's off, your battery is actually here, and you can see there's two Allen keys, one here and one there. They're a size H4, which I've conveniently got here, but cleverly Aprilia have given you an Allen key which is in here. So if you haven't got a set of Allen keys, you can use that, but I don't use those because they tend to round things off. So excuse the dirt of my bike, I haven't ridden it in about 6 weeks, which is why I'm putting the charging accessory on here. So get your Allen key in, make sure it's seated dead straight. If you're at an angle at all and it's difficult to take off, you'll round the head off, so keep it dead straight. One bolt off. It's always good to keep your finger underneath it, because if you drop this down in there you probably won't find it. Put that aside, and the same for number 2. Again, dead straight, and just take your time, you know, keep your finger underneath, put that there. Now with any luck the seat should come up and then that way slightly, and that is that. There's your toolkit. So your Aprilia toolkit's there underneath your seat should you need it. I never use the generic toolkits that come with the bike because they tend to be cheap metals and they get rusty and they start damaging things and stuff. So there's your fuel sender unit, and here's obviously your batteries here. So first things first, red with the plus sign is positive, obviously. So just looking at that there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my accessory cable and I'm going to work out a little route to wire it where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to probably not put it on the exhaust side because I don't want it to get hot at all. So let's route this stuff underneath here. Now let me find a little spot for this to go. Yeah. That's some people selling some stuff, I would imagine. That's going to be too small. So I'm just going to take off this, this side or this side. I'm going to go with the exhaust side actually. I said I wouldn't, but undo this. And 2 more.
Hello.
Hello.
Everybody alright?
I'm a little bit busy, mate, I'm afraid.
Oh, I know.
Apologies. So that was somebody trying to sell me some stuff. And now he knows where my bike is. So let's undo these 3 bolts here so we can give ourselves some more space. Unfortunately with these kind of bikes it's all about giving yourself space. So they're H4s as well, and that is pretty much just this cowl on the opposite side. So it should, with any luck, just pop off. There you go. Everything's got like little tags, and they'll slide in, slide out. Never pull anything straight off, because you'll tend to snap these, and then they'll just be flapping in the wind, and they'll always be in your mind that you've broken one and blah blah blah. So we are going to go down the side of there and drop it out the bottom. So here's my cable. I'm going to do a bit of this. So that is right there. So when I finish, my cable will be here, if you can see that. And I can just plug in whenever I need to, and it's not too much, there's not too much hanging out. This is my mount for my camera that you're looking on. This is my waterproof mount. That's the rear view, and then I've got one that goes around to the front as well. But hopefully we can get that position there nicely. If you're going to buy a charging lead or charging cable or anything for your bike, electrical, always make sure there's a fuse on it. That's this is a fuse port here, and that stops, you know, stops it setting fire to your bike should you decide to malfunction. So now, little trick for anybody getting into bikes, and anybody who has got bikes. This is my dirty rag, which is an old t-shirt. But what I like to do is, this is my little bike bucket. This stuff, ACF50, originally designed for aircraft, as you can see. And this stops rust. It literally stops rust. It lasts about a year, depending on where it is on the bike, but a year is the minimum. And I spray all my engine, I spray everything except the brakes. I give it a little coat, and what I tend to do is I'll just do this. I'll put a little bit on a rag. So a little bit on a rag. And this stuff is purple when it comes out of its container. So a little bit on a rag, and just wipe. Just a little, it just needs to be a slight wipe is all it needs. That's it, done. And I will wipe the battery terminals when I finish, and that stops any corrosion, literally any corrosion. And I wipe everything in it. When I bought this bike, what was it? This bike is 2011, it's now 2017, so bike's 6 years old. Everything is still pretty much, and I just get this rag and I just touch everything. Touch, 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 everything. And it pretty much stops it from corroding on me. So I'm going to get this battery off now, and I need a 10mm socket, 10mm spanner. It looks like a 10mm. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I normally am wrong. Oh yeah, don't let the spanner hit the bike, anywhere metal on the bike when you're taking the battery off. No, it's an 8mm. I was wrong. Here we go, 8mm. That should come off with your fingers now, once you've loosened it. This little rubber sleeve is really bugging me. Just put that on the red sleeved part of your Optimate, or mine is actually an Oxford Oxymizer, but they're all the same. Put it on the red sleeved section and just tighten it up again. Now when you tighten this up, just make sure it's lying that way or that way. If you leave it lying like up like this, and when you put your seat back on, you'll snap it. So just put it tight, just, you know, make things tidy for yourself. Hold it with a finger and give it a little nip. Let's give it a little nip. You don't need to go all Arnold Schwarzenegger on its ass, because these will snap and then you'll be buying a new battery, and they're not cheap. Well, not where I live anyway. Just a little nip and that's enough. Now, time to give this a little dab of my friend here. I'll literally just give the whole thing a little wipe. And that's that side done. Same on the other side. Literally just take it off. That's just finger tight as well. There you go. You may need to pull a bit, give yourself a bit of slack, but that'll do you. Get it in there. It's pretty straightforward, this kind of job. I mean, now my bike's just worked out, it's been plugged in, or it's been off and on its power source. But I know this is pretty much sucking eggs and teaching people how to suck eggs and blah blah blah, but there'll be that one person who doesn't know where the battery is and doesn't want to spend an hour and a half looking for it, and can just come on and see this video and see where it is. You don't have to watch how I've little nip. You don't have to watch how I've wired it in and blah 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 and do it that way. You don't have to do it my way. You can do it whatever way you like. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's wired in. My plug is here. I'll give it a little tug, a little tiny tug, get that back there, and I'm happy with that. So, and I will give this a little dab as well, that little wipe. And while I've got my seat off, I'll give these another little wipe. Just, that's all it takes. Just anything metal, just give it a little rub. And that sorts it out for another little while. And even washing the bike doesn't take this stuff off unless you scrub it. No, done. That's that done. Obviously when you're putting your cowls back on and everything regarding motorbikes, I find, or nowadays these plastic cars, just be gentle. You know, when you're putting things on, if it doesn't feel like it's going in, don't force it, because there's a reason it's not going in. It's not going in because there's a lug out place or a broken lug works. So just gently find your locations, have one last look, get it in, and when it's in, you know it's in, because all these holes line up. They all line up again, and then you just get your screws, and it's pretty much the opposite of what you did. I mean, you probably don't even have to watch the rest of this video, but it would be funny if I broke something, wouldn't it? So by all means keep watching. And I never tighten anything up all the way until all the nuts are in, so that's not tight all the way, that's only half down. Get this fella in. Really I should be using a magnetic Allen key, because with the bikes you can sometimes drop the screws and that becomes really pain in the ass. Especially when you're in as tight a space as I'm in right now. So once you have all three back in, get it all lined up, tighten the first one, tighten the second one, And again, just give them a nip, because they're only on these small little screwed down plates. They don't need to be rock tight. They're not holding any load. Now I've just noticed I've got a problem with this rubber. It looks perished, so I will have to change that and that one. But have a little look over your bike, and anything else loose, just give it a little feel, a little touch, you know. You never know what could be loose. Okay, so that's there. Time to put the seat back on. Now that's obviously the opposite way, and this little hole here, horseshoe shape, locates underneath this screw. So that's the main thing you've got to remember. And you'll feel it. Just push it down, slide it forward, and then have a little pull upwards towards you, and it shouldn't come up. And these guys should be all lined up, these two holes here. So let's get our screws back on. And again, halfway down, nothing fully tight until all screws are in place. That's my little tip for you today. Now they're both in, and again, just a little nip. They don't need to be rock tight. I mean, my fat ass is already holding this seat in place whenever I sit in it, so it ain't gonna fall off with me on there. Boom. That's solid in, all lined up. Take your stuff off and put it away. And then finally, for this big guy, needs to go back on. And we all know how to do that. But anyway, so I hope you learned something from the video, or watched me do something wrong, whatever. There'll be plenty of comments, but make sure your key is not underneath the seat. Done. Please excuse the dirt of my bike. Like I said, I haven't ridden it in 6 weeks. It's currently not insured. It will be getting insured tomorrow morning, and I'm gonna bust its ass tomorrow. But I should have done the video where I changed the brake discs. I changed both brake discs. I did think there was a warped disc, but apparently there wasn't a warped disc. I don't know what was the problem, but hopefully it's solved. But you know, if you can learn one thing from this video, learn that is the best stuff you'll ever buy for your bike. I mean, it's about 15 to 17 pounds for that can, but you put you put a little bit on a rag, and it will just do your whole bike. And I pretty much start my bike up. Sorry, I don't start it up. I spray this in all the gaps, in all the metalwork. Once a year, I spray it in everywhere. I don't get it on the brakes, obviously, but I spray it on everything else that's metal. All the fixtures, fittings, especially the mounting bolts for the calipers, because they seem to get furred up pretty quick. I literally give everything that's metal, all these little clips for the hoses, all these little bolts, everything. I'll give it a quick spray up inside the radiators, everything all over the engine block, the exhaust. Now don't get me wrong, when you start it up for the first time after you've done that, it will smoke like a biatch. It will smoke very bad and it will stink. But get any water anywhere and you're protected. So definitely worth a shout. These boys, tech spec tank grippers. Again, I really rate these. Don't ever get anything clear for your tank, because if you get any clear grip pads or anything like that, they tend to discolor underneath, and then you see they turn yellow over time. So especially if you've got a white bike and you put a clear pad on there, it just looks disgusting after about 6 months, because the glue underneath turns yellow with the sunlight, and it's just looks disgusting. So that's that. And as for my video on the wall ground anchors, they're still in place. One there, one up the front, and can never be too careful, so I have a little disc lock which goes on here, and that's alarmed. Done. Thanks for watching. I hope it was in focus, and I hope this is the first time using my my head cam. Normally I do it with my phone or whatever, but hopefully it will be in focus and you'll see pretty much whatever I did. I'm hoping to get out for a ride on this tomorrow evening, as it's a Friday evening in London and it's going to be busy on the bikes. So keep safe, people, and hopefully I'll see you about.